Our film begins with a powerful solitary alien, and while standing at the top of a waterfall, he starts to survey his surroundings, and a massive spaceship appears above him and the engineer sheds his cloak. Ritualistic manner, the alien consumes a black goo-like substance from an opened urn, causing him to writhe in pain. And as a result of what he drank, he undergoes this molecular transformation and he basically dies and drops into the waterfall. And later it's revealed that it's him sacrificing himself to create life on Earth. And whatever it was that he drank from the urn was a way for him to spread his DNA. And 4 years prior to this, Dr. Elizabeth and her boyfriend Dr. Charlie discovered this 35,000-year-old prehistoric cave paintings in the Isle of Skye in Scotland. And amongst the paintings, they find this figure of a tall man pointing to a pattern of stars. The pattern was found to be the same configuration in other cultures and depicted men worshipping giant beings pointing to the stars. And Dr. Elizabeth Shaw concludes that these aliens, known as the engineers, are signaling to humanity through star diagrams and believes that their intention is to invite us to their location. Later in the year 2093, the Weyland Corporation, with the motto "Building Better Worlds," sent the advanced space vehicle Prometheus, equipped with holographic displays and a crew of 17, on a mysterious mission to a far-off moon named LV-223. And while all of the crew members were in cryosleep, David, who is an android that's supposed to assist the crew members, passes the time by exploring the ship and engaging in various activities such as riding a bike and practicing basketball and learning a bunch of languages, watching Lawrence of Arabia, and doing a bunch of other human activities. Oh yeah, by the way, the person who leads this mission is actually Elizabeth and her boyfriend Charlie. And the Weyland Corporation actually financed this mission by spending about $1 trillion into it. And during a briefing with Weyland executive Meredith Vickers, the crew sees a video recorded by Peter Weyland, and in his message, he postulates these 3 thought-provoking inquiries, namely, the origins of humanity, the purpose of human existence, and the eventuality that awaits us after our passing. This is basically what the crew was sent to discover. And then this dude Peter compares himself to the Titan Prometheus. Prometheus was a Greek god who was exiled from Olympus because he wanted to elevate humanity to the equal stance of the gods. And Prometheus must return. And this team, this crew, was informed that all of these cave paintings and findings that they got were all pointing to the solar system that had this life-sustaining moon, LV-223. And after landing on this life-sustaining moon, they enter this large, hollow, doomed rock structure, and they map it with their robotic pups, and they discover that it has breathable air and water, evidence of terraforming. And they soon realize that they're not alone here. And as they ventured further into the structure, David accidentally triggered this projected recording, which showed images of humanoid aliens running at them. The team then finds this body of one large alien engineer, similar to the space jockey in Alien. And this engineer, this alien, was decapitated by the doorway with its helmet on its head. And to their surprise, the alien has been dead for about 2,000 years. But their mystery only deepened as David saw large metal vases containing the contaminating DNA-destroying black slime with squirming like snake creatures inside, and he puts one into his backpack. And 2 of the scientists, Milburn and Fifield, became kind of fearful and decided to return to the ship. But however, when they tried to leave, they became stranded in a cave-like structure while the rest of the group returned to the ship. And upon examining the retrieved alien head, the crew discovers that it was just some kind of helmet, and when they remove it, it kind of results in this implosion, with David remarking that this being was mortal after all. And the team figures out that the head belongs to one of the alien engineers. And doing a DNA match, they confirm this very thing, meaning, in conclusion, we come from them. And Elizabeth Shaw started to wonder about the outcome of their mission. The twists and turns only became more unexpected and dangerous. And one of these unexpected twists that took place was the fact that Peter Weyland was actually on the ship, and David, the android, and Vickers actually knew about it. And apparently Vickers is also his daughter. Weyland was responsible for programming David, and he programmed him in a way where David would keep a bunch of secrets and a hidden agenda. And the very handsome android David also infected Charlie by putting a slime from the vase into his drink, which led to the emergence of the snake-like creature from the vase and an attack on the stranded scientists, resulting in the death of Milburn. And on the return ship, while exploring the control room, David stumbles upon a hologram of the engineers plotting courses to various planets, including Earth, and a hypersleep chamber with pods, one of which contained a still alive engineer. And finally, without knowing, Charlie has apparently infected Elizabeth, because when David infected him, he didn't really know, and when he slept with Elizabeth, he transmitted it to her. And so he decides to sacrifice himself and ask to be killed because he doesn't want to spread it to somebody else. And Elizabeth's infection manifested itself as a pregnancy, and David presented the idea of placing Elizabeth, who was carrying a 3-month pregnancy, into cryostasis and send her back to Earth as part of Weyland's sinister scheme to bring the monster back to civilization. And in determination to save herself and the world from the creature inside of her, Elizabeth decides to use a med pod to abort the creature and kill it. And when the machine pulled out whatever kind of creature was inside of her, it was this coiled up octopus-like creature that was so slimy and gross, and she manages to gas and kill it. And after which, a contaminated phi field attempts to enter the ship, but Shaw stops him with a flamethrower. And he reveals that the current location that they're at is not really the place that they thought they were at. And these beings who they thought were their creators didn't actually sacrifice themselves for humanity, nor did they even care about humanity. And these aliens, or the engineers, are not actually creators, but actually warriors. And they were on a mission to Earth to use their bioweapons of mass destruction to eradicate humanity. But their journey got interrupted by the very thing that they were trying to use. And Dr. Elizabeth and David, accompanied by Weyland, entered the rock structure and held the sleeping engineer. And this place, which they actually explored, turned out to be some kind of cargo hold of a circular-shaped spaceship, and in the control room of the bridge, David discovers the last surviving engineer, whom Dr. Elizabeth saw as a means to obtain her answers. And to Dr. Elizabeth's surprise, David reveals that the engineer's plan was actually to destroy Earth, and Dr. Elizabeth, with the utmost desperation, interrogates the engineer regarding his animosity towards humanity. But her questions were met with silence as the engineer proceeded to rip off David's head and attack the rest of the crew. The engineer then reactivates his ship and makes his way towards Earth, and he was also carrying a deadly payload. And in a very dramatic climax, the Prometheus clashes against the alien spaceship, causing severe damage as the latter took off. The collision resulted in the death of Vickers, who tried to escape in a separate pod, and on the surface, within the ejected lifeboat of the Prometheus, Dr. Elizabeth's offspring has transformed into this monstrous tentacle-like creature, and the engineer, who survived the crash and was attacking Shaw, was captured by the tentacles of the monster creature and devoured. And in the final moments of the film, only Elizabeth survived, and she was accompanied by the operational head of the android David. And as the film came to a close, Elizabeth was determined to continue her journey, unyielding in her determination to search for alien home planets and uncover the reason behind the creation and attempted destruction of humankind by the aliens. And on New Year's Day, 2094, Elizabeth identified herself as the last survivor of the ill-fated Prometheus, and in a form of a voiceover, she warns against any attempts to follow in the footsteps of the Prometheus. And as the film concludes, it's revealed that inside the remnants of the lifeboat, there lay an embryonic version of a xenomorph alien, having originated from the chest of the deceased engineer. And that is how the movie comes to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed our recap. Remember to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.